Miz Floes on location in Hiawatha Art Space. We are talking today with Merri Ann Osborne, cast as Side Note in the upcoming production of Jazzy Bluez All Up in My Soul. Merri Ann, can you please say hello to our podcast listeners?
Hey everyone out there, how you doing?
I want to ask you, have you had an opportunity to read the entire script for Jazzy Bluez All Up in My Soul?
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed reading it.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
So I want to know first, what piqued your interest about the script? And then second, what is it about your character that you like?
Well, what piqued my interest is because I love music. I love jazz, blues, any style of music, and as a singer, writer, performer, just this story itself, learning about all these artists and so many of them who have influenced music and culture in our country and around the world. I mean, how can I not want to be a part of it? And plus the lovely writing.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I love receiving compliments. But I really like that so far every character that I have cast actually is motivated by the story, but really gravitates toward their character. I heard your voice for Side Note, which is why I was interested. By the way, listeners, Merri Ann was the last person to be cast for this production. So it's pretty amazing to have her here. She's a star in her own right, and we'll get to that later on in the interview. But tell us what you liked most about Side Note. What made that character resonate with you?
Oh man, the history part. I'm a history lover, and especially the history of our people, Black folks, African Americans, Africans around the world, diaspora. We don't hear our stories enough. So having a chance to read and learn the backgrounds of all the performers that are presented in the play and Jazzy Bluez is just like, I love it. And then be able to play a character that shares with the audience and listeners about these characters in a historical kind of context, but who's also kind of fun.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of spoke to me.
So Side Note's like our jazzy little librarian, so to speak, the historian of the group. And she kind of like brings focus into what you're actually seeing on the stage. So if you're 15 and you never heard of Ella Fitzgerald, listening to Side Note will kind of clue you in on who Ella was, what she did. Side Note also gives a little background on these people. She doesn't just give you history, but a little background on them, like who they were in their private life that wasn't on the stage. Yeah. So I felt that was a piece that was missing when I wrote the original script. Side Note was not a character. So when I included Side Note, it was basically to provide the historical facts in the script.
Oh, well, I'm glad you did,
and we're happy to have you.
I'm glad to be a part of this this production, this journey with you as an artist, as a creator of new work, which is so important as a vocalist. It's all the things you do. I'm really excited to play this Side Note of a part.
I'm honored to have you. So can you tell my listeners who aren't familiar with who you are, where you're from, and how you came to be a so-called Seattleite?
Well, I'm originally a Michigander.
Okay.
Hey, all you Michigan people, Lansing, Detroit, then moved to Seattle, and when I was 18, got out of here as quickly as I could. As it wasn't happening, nothing was happening. I was 18 and went to university in Los Angeles, lived there for a while, studied overseas in Japan, I studied in the UK. So part of my background is politics and history and how that impacts people. But I've always done art. I've sang and danced and acted and voiceover whenever I can. And so now I'm the executive director of a small arts organization called the Mahogany Project. And we focus on collaborating with artists from the African diaspora on any work they're doing. We're very small, but we and you know, kind of thinking outside of the box of the artists that we work with, trying to spotlight them and give them a voice and a place to share their stories. Mahogany Project's been around since 2006, and I joined in 2015. So I do that work. I also audition for plays and film and commercials and, the usual stuff when you're an actor. And then also I'm a writer.
Okay.
Was part of the African American Writers Alliance. Shout out to AAWA.
That's right.
And that's how I met Miz Floes, through AWA. As Miz Floes.
Originally, yes.
Yeah, originally. But we've seen each other here and there. And
we worked on Sharon Nairobi Williams' piece for Freedom, where we were all asked to express freedom just using the word freedom, whether we sang it, said it, or however it was done.
That's right.
And you came with a different dialect and blew us all away. So yeah, that was the memorable moment of our meeting.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that was a great day.
So tell me, what productions might someone have seen that you were a part of?
Well, I do. That's a good question. I think being back in Seattle and trying to get into the art scene was a little hard for me.
Okay.
And so but eventually through Mahogany Project, through working with Central District Forum for Arts and Ideas, I'm dropping some names so y'all can check out all these great Black arts organizations. I was able to start meeting people, and one of the works that maybe people have seen me in, if you're into theater in the park, in the past few summers pre-COVID, I was doing outdoor Trek, and we did Star Trek and Star Wars in the park. So I played Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What?
I love sci-fi. Yeah, that was fun. I played Khan Noonien Singh, which was an old Star Trek episode, a classic with Ricardo Montalban. I played that lead role. So that was really fun, doing theater in the park. I've done a show with Copious Love Productions in the past. And also Book It, have done traveling shows for youth theater, if you will, bringing stories to audiences, youth audiences throughout the state. I haven't done a lot of theater work. Try to do a show every year because I'm also focusing on so many other things. And I'm a caregiver. Okay. So, that takes time, and it's been very rewarding and difficult. And I'm a wife, a grandmother, a daughter, and all of that stuff. So I'm just, I think if they've seen me, they might have seen me also with productions in the Mahogany Project.
Okay.
Well, the Mahogany Project recently got a grant from the city of Seattle the very exciting, and I'll be working with Chino Gonzalez of Bonnet Black. Chino's an amazing musician, composer, artist, human being, and we're going to work together to put a show up at the Seattle Center that will incorporate music and dance, but also a story, and also hopefully, still in the works, youth who do circus arts, especially kids of color. So we're going to do a full show. That will be summer of 2022. I'm going to be shooting a film later this year, so more information to come about that. I'm going to be, and then also doing voiceover for a number of projects. And you can check it out at www.mahoganyproject.org. I just want to thank you again, Miz Floes. Your writing is really amazing, and I love that you kind of combine different elements of your writing styles into this. And it encourages me because you're getting, I'm not going to swear, people who know me know I don't swear a lot anyways, but you're getting, done, right? And a lot of us, so you inspire me because I'm working on a book, a novel, a historical children's novel for middle grade readers, and I've been working on it for a while. And it's like, I'm on the editing phase, and then you kind of get it out there. It's a journey. It's a what did they call it? Something of love, burden. I don't want to say it's not a burden at all, because it's about my mother and her life, and visiting the segregated South and all of this stuff. But what you show me is just, you got to get the stuff done. And you had this vision and you went for it and you're completing it and it's going to be out there to the world. And this is a piece of that, the conversations we're having. And, you know, it's just part of the big picture. And I just want to say you encouraged me to get my you know what done. But also to continue to look forward to whatever you're going to do next. So thank you for having this opportunity to talk with you today. And to everybody out there, keep on doing what you're doing, writing, creating, because you know you gotta, as we say in Harmony Project, tell your story or someone else's, because if you don't do it, no one will know.